It's an all-English affair. In week 3, we finally get to see Arsenal, team at the top of the table, take on Man United, team who is second bottom of the table that nobody at the start of the season thought was going to be there. So far this season, we've seen Jack Flash just run away with the league, lighting it up with a hat trick in his first game, a goal and 2 assists in his second game. The guy is absolutely on fire, clear why he was the #1 pick in this draft. But we've seen a lackluster Man United team who have not taken the chances that they have as we take a look at Jack Flash. Man United needs to find that spark today. If they can't find it today, then it's almost certain that their season is over as far as contending. What will they be able to bring out? They're still running the same lineup that they've had all season. Same thing with Arsenal. No changes to either side. Week 2 lineups into today. So let's see what these teams can bring out for us today. I think key to the game today will be what can the Manchester United center backs do to slow down Jack Flash and Hector Saunders. 2 of them have looked outstanding as we go through the Arsenal starting lineup. And you see them at the back. Stindabach and Fabian Lopez have been phenomenal in the middle. Can Manchester United emulate what they're doing? And for this Man United squad, we look in, as we're going through the lineup, the question becomes, who is going to create? Lucas Sabitzer, Yoshino Yamura have been a little bit quiet all season. Miguel Fuentes, wearing the captain's armband, has not produced what we thought he might. And Griffin Lennon has been a non-factor pretty much all season. As Jack Fletch gets that's underway. And we see a very, very early turnover by Fabian Lopez, something he just has not done at all this season. Great pressing from Man United as we see them get through, and a shot ringing off the post for Griffin Lennon. We're 3 minutes in. That's the most aggressive Man U's been all season. They get the ball right back. Sabitzer back into Lennon. And this is the Man United team that we thought we were going to see at the start of the season. 4th minute, Lucas Sabitzer gets a nice through ball into Griffin Lennon right at his feet. And if this is how today's going to go, this league is going to be blown wide open. Great composure from Lennon, too. He had Reece Morgan breathing down his neck, trying to prevent that angle, but slots it in nicely underneath the keeper. First we've seen from him now 3 goals from 3 different players for Man United, which I thought I was going to be saying that halfway through the game week 1, but here we are, entering week 3. And Arsenal look human for really the first time all season. They've been on top of everything. They've been aggressive. They've found the players that they want to have the ball at their feet as Vinuesa Ramos just dribbles through half of Man United's team. But Vinuesa Ramos has been a great link man for Arsenal. He's been the guy creating most of these chances. What if not directly, then just by the way he's moving the ball through opposing defenses. Is Ute Pollock, nice step up. Guy that I still question why he's playing at center back for this squad. His skills definitely lead him more to a forward role. But Arsenal, first time that they're really playing from the back, like the back foot all season. As Pollock, another step in, great tackle. Taking the ball all the way up into the attacking third before he drops it off to Fuentes. Nice little play around Govea. Maybe held on to the ball a little bit too long there. And Milicevic, terrible attempt to go over the top. Does not work for him. But you see this Man United team finally getting aggressive. They're getting forward. They're making Arsenal play defense, which no one really has done this season. Inter was... Dennis Yexov, amazing shot, saved by Reece Morgan, keeping his team in this game. If they go down 2-0, I don't know how this ends up going. But this is what we wanted to see from Man United all season. They've been very passive. They haven't gotten into the attacking third, really, or made just chances happen. But that's something Arsenal has done. And so far today, they look a little bit lost. It could be the bright lights of rivalry week, where a team that they're maybe not necessarily supposed to beat, but want to beat more than anyone else, comes into the house, and you have to step up to the challenge, or it's going to eat you. That's the second time we've seen Milicevic try to go over the top with a ball that just does not work. Gets this one back, and Gouveia runs it all the way up that left side. Miguel Fuentes takes it away. Gouveia takes it right back. And we're going to see that ball go out, I believe, for a corner. Another look at that Reece Morgan save. Great positioning, great reflexes. Ball played short to Hector Saunders. Good cutout by Yoshino Miyamura. I think the key difference today to what Man U's been doing all season is those guys that are listed as strikers who may be playing a little bit out of position. Yomura playing a little bit farther back. Savitzer playing farther back. And Pollock playing way farther back. All those guys are getting more active defensively, which is something we haven't seen from them all season. Savitzer, the guy with the assist on our first goal, getting back, tracking, getting into Arsenal's offensive players. And you see Pollock doing a much better job of marking down guys like Jack Flatch than he has all season. He's seemed lost the last couple of games. But today he looks pretty locked in. He's doing a great job. Couple of tackles already. Gouveia with a nice cross into the middle. Pollock, there he is again. Right place, right time. Only thing that you really knock that guy for is he's just not the most gifted in his intangibles. He's a little bit shorter, a little bit slim, especially to play the center back position, but his IQ is there, his passing is there, his finishing is there, his defensive abilities not as good as his offensive capabilities, but he's still a great player. So far, as we get to the end of this first half, Arsenal have not looked comfortable. Jack Flatch has been a non-factor. Hector Saunders, again, non-factor. Like, this is what Man U's looked like in the first couple of games, just not able to comfortably get something going. And, I mean, their formation, their lineup hasn't worked for them yet this season. Maybe it's all just been practice for today. It's been getting the lineup right. Oh, as we see a cross in it, Hector Saunders absolutely whiffs on the header. You have to believe if he gets even the slightest touch to that, it's in the back of the net. Will Castano has not had a great season so far. Has looked vulnerable. Could have seen first goal for Arsenal bringing us level right before the half. Interesting decision by Saunders not to mark up on Kagawa right there. Just lets him go up the field into the final third as Sabitzer tries to go by Gouveia. Florian Roker with a great attempt on that, but you saw Fabian Lopez get across, get his foot into that ball's trajectory, even deflecting it off of Milicevic a little bit. But the Arsenal defense, aside from that first 5-minute stretch where they gave up a shot, they hit the post, and then they gave up the goal, they've looked sound. Good crossing ball over the top, getting at the foot of Artem Savchenko. Benoist Ramos really just saved Hector Saunders a turnover right there. Tries going a little bit too far on Simone Lupitelli. And end of the first half. It's been all Man U. Arsenal had their shot. They weren't able to convert. But it's been Manchester United's game. They've been more aggressive. You could see that they're finally willing to throw themselves into something instead of being passive, letting the game come to them. They're getting after it. If they can keep up that aggression, I don't see a lot of teams in this league being able to catch up to them and beat them. Go back to that first goal. We saw ball movement after the takeaway. There's Griffin Lennon. Great attacker. Maybe not on par with Jack Fletch or Sergei Rudenko or even Saunders and Valentin so far this season. But he's a guy that if you don't pay attention to him, he'll sneak right up on you and put in 5 goals in 3 games. But we head to the half, 1-0 Manchester United. What's Arsenal got? They've been stagnant so far. They haven't put a shot on target. And the only opportunity they had was on that cross that Hector Saunders was unable to get a true head on. Jack Fletch does a great job getting the ball back for his team. Savchenko getting the ball down into the corner, tries to cross. 2 beautiful cutouts by Navarro. And this is the game that we expected from these two clubs. Both very evenly matched, very talented players all across the board. And there's not a lot in it goal-wise as Griffin Lennon gets the ball back at his feet, trying to go head-on with Stindebach, decides to give that up. Benoist Ramos, nice over-the-top ball to Savchenko. Has to give it back, though. As Ute Pollock makes another great tackle. It looks like Karnen might be down after that. We'll be watching for updates. But Ute Pollock definitely more locked in defensively today. As we see a foul given, advantage played, but eventually end up pulling that back. We see Karnen confirmed to have picked up some sort of injury. Nothing serious, though. He's still on the field. And I don't know what that just was. Terrible passing by that Arsenal lineup. As we see Lucas Sabitzer come off of Robin Manley. It's been a pretty common substitution. Manley, a defensive-minded midfielder, coming on for the attacker that's playing a little bit farther back. Looks like Man U felt bad for that terrible play out of bounds, just giving the ball right back to Arsenal. That Lopez de Bach center has been great for this Arsenal team. Granted, they've had a little bit more for me to look at, but there's only another one or two pairings throughout the league that have been as dominant in the middle as them. So far, Danny Astier and Ibrahim Zakarai have been phenomenal for Inter in the 90 minutes that they've gotten together. We'll see if that can keep up today as they take on Club America. But Barcelona also bolstering a great core of center backs that they've rotated through much more than every other team. Fuentes gets it over to Yexov, over to Yamura, who tries a fancy flick. Tom Bjorkander gets across two amazing cutouts. First on the Yamura flick with the follow-up. Lennon over to Yexov. Can't get it through. Yamura trying to chase the ball down. Can't quite get there. And Jack Flatch with the beautiful head-on to Vinuesa Ramos. Flatch has seemed to have gotten lost today a little bit. Middle a little bit more packed in than he's used to. Most teams running wingers, whereas Man U running a couple more attacking midfielders through the middle. Possibly lack of space has made it difficult for him to operate. Karner with the attempt over the top. Cut out by Pollock's very nice pass off the volley to Yamura. Good ball from Hector Saunders up to Jack Flatch. Patient, gets past Pollock, but can't quite get all the way up. Bad layoff as well. Navarro cuts out. With only 10 minutes left in this game, Arsenal have not really looked pressing on that net. Aside from the crossing header that Hector Saunders was unable to get onto, they haven't had anything going for them. They haven't had a single shot. And as I say that, Vinuesa Ramos goes charging with a head of steam. Saunders with a nice layoff to Milicevic, who decides to pass directly to Simone Lupitelli. Pollock with the clear, but Milicevic has not had a promising game today. We see the standard Hector Saunders for Breck de la Garza swap. Kagawa off for Dominic McNulty, which should give Man U a little bit more depth on the outside. And I can already tell, just knowing him the way I do, as Griffin Lennon gets in for another spot. The Bach gets onto the body, doesn't allow Lennon to get any power into an easy save from Reece Morgan. But if I know these managers like I think I do, Woodsy is not having a great time on that sideline. He's screaming at the top of his lungs, being drowned out by the crowd currently. But screaming at the top of his lungs, probably not happy with the passing of Milicevic all day. Wouldn't surprise me if we see Samuel Omabo get his first chance in the actual league in replace of Milicevic next week, as Arsenal take on the only other team that's undefeated to this point in the table of Barcelona. Arsenal with a very tough couple of weeks right here, looking like they're going to take a loss to Man United unless they can get something off of this. So we see Denis Yexov subbed off for Islam Murray, another winger. What will Arsenal do? It looks like they might need to bounce back from the potential loss of Vinuesa Ramos into the middle, but there's just so many red jerseys. Unable to find a way through. And Milicevic near another turnover. Manolay gets a great slide in. Milicevic up the wing. Manolay cuts that out. And another weak cross from Milicevic. It could be the story of this game, but Man United doesn't matter. 1-0 They go on, they take the victory, their first 3 points of the season. And depending on what happens in the Barcelona-Bayern Munich game, we could be looking at a very compact table from 2 to 5. Griffin Lennon with the only goal today, but player of the game for me is a guy that really stepped up and changed the way that his season's been going so far, is Ute Pollock. A few key tackles from the middle. That's a guy that, me personally, I was pinning for whatever team he ended up on. He's getting that captain's armband. Not saying that Migdio Fuentes is an unworthy captain, but something about what Pollock brings to a team is special. But going into next week, Arsenal have another tough matchup against Barcelona. And if they can win that, we're looking at a wide open title race in the final 2 weeks of the season. And Man U go on to take on Club America, who have struggled to this point in the season, giving up a total of 13 goals through 2 games. They're playing Inter today. We'll see how that goes for them. But is this a spark that Man U needed to get themselves on that run? Great all-around team effort. And capped off with a 1-0 victory, giving them 3 points. So, thank you guys for sticking around and watching. We'll check you next week.